Here's a thought for you. What if the best health insurance you could possibly have isn't a policy you buy, but a lifestyle you actually live? Today, we're going to dive into this idea that for most of us, our health is our single most productive asset. And protecting it? Well, it might be way simpler and a lot more ancient than we've been led to believe.
So let's kick things off with this quote from economist Robin Hanson, because it really flips a common assumption right on its head. See, we tend to think healthcare means doctors, hospitals, and medicine. But the data? It suggests that our daily choices, what we eat, how much we move, how we sleep, have a way stronger impact on our health than medical treatments do. It's a huge idea, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to get into.
Okay, so if lifestyle is that important, what happens when our lifestyle kind of goes off the rails? Well, we get a massive, and I mean massive, national sickness bill. And listen, this isn't some abstract problem for economists to worry about. It's a real cost that's hitting individuals, families, and yeah, the whole country, right in the wallet.
To put a number on it, just look at this. $444 billion. That's what cardiovascular diseases alone cost the U.S. every single year. That's almost 17% of all healthcare spending on just one category of illness. This isn't just a bill, you guys. It's a full-blown crisis.
And when we dig into that crisis, the picture gets even clearer. A full 75%, 3/4 of our nation's healthcare costs come directly from chronic conditions. We're talking about things like heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes. But here's the crucial part. So many of these are preventable. This isn't about random accidents or infections. It's the slow burn of modern living.
So, why? Why is this happening? Why are we so sick? Well, the reading theory points to this really fundamental conflict between our ancient biology and the modern world we built for ourselves.
The fancy scientific term for this is evolutionary discordance. Now, I know it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. Our genes were forged over hundreds of thousands of years in a totally different world. Our modern lifestyle, with all its convenience and abundance, is sending signals to those ancient genes that they just don't know how to process. And the result? Chronic disease. And here's what that mismatch looks like, side by side. Our ancestors' world was all about natural, whole foods. They were constantly moving, and their lives were pretty much dictated by the sun going up and down. Now, our world, it's dominated by processed foods, sitting in chairs for hours and staring at bright screens long after the sun is set. This isn't a judgment, it's just the reality. And this huge shift is right at the heart of our health crisis.
Okay, so if we figured out that the problem is a mismatch, the solution seems pretty logical, right? We need to get our lives back in sync with our genetic expectations. And this is where a framework called the Primal Blueprint, developed by Mark Sisson, comes in. It's basically a set of principles designed to do exactly that.
Now, the whole framework is built on 10 core laws, but we can group them into these 3 simple categories to make them really easy to remember. Eat real food and stay away from the modern processed stuff. Move your body in different ways, not just endless cardio, and live in a way that respects your need for sleep, sunshine, and even play. It's a really intuitive roadmap back to health.
Let's just zoom in on one of those move laws for a second. Lift heavy things. Now, this is not just for bodybuilders. As Dr. Doug McGuff points out, intense strength training sends an incredibly powerful signal to our genes. It makes us more sensitive to insulin, it triggers all these great hormones, and it builds up this metabolic reserve that can literally save your life if you get sick or injured. It's all about sending the right signal.
All right, so if sending these powerful primal signals can make us more resilient, can it actually fight back against specific diseases? Let's put the theory to the test. We're going to take one of the most expensive chronic diseases out there and see exactly how this primal approach takes it on. We are going to look at type 2 diabetes. It's a condition that's become tragically common, but as you're about to see, it is a perfect example of a disease that's born directly from that evolutionary mismatch we were just talking about.
First off, just look at the cost. In only 5 years, the national price tag for diabetes jumped from $174 billion to $245 billion. This isn't a slow creep, folks. It's an explosion. And get this, it's projected that 1 in 3 people will develop the condition by 2050 if we don't change course.
So how does this actually happen in our bodies? Well, the modern diet, stuffed with refined carbs like bread, pasta, and sugar, causes these huge, frequent insulin spikes. Our bodies, which evolved in a world where that stuff was super rare, respond by just aggressively storing fat. Over time, our cells get tired of hearing the signal and become resistant to insulin. And that is the very definition of type 2 diabetes. So how does the Primal Blueprint deal with this? The solution is actually beautiful in its simplicity. By taking out that one key ingredient, the refined, super digestible carbohydrates, you basically interrupt the entire disease process. You stop the insulin spikes, you give your body a chance to become sensitive to insulin again, and you switch your metabolism from being a sugar burner to a fat burner.
And this brings us right back to our central idea. Preventing a disease like type 2 diabetes isn't just about saving the country billions of dollars. It's about investing in your single most important asset, your own body. It's the ultimate insurance plan.
Because think about it. Good health is so much more than just not being sick. It's the freedom to live your life without being tied to a medical system. It's having the energy to go after your dreams. It's preserving your time and your money for the things that really truly matter to you.
So as we wrap up here, I just want to leave you with this question to chew on. When you really look at the evidence, the insane costs of chronic disease, and the simple power of making these evolutionarily aligned choices, is it possible that the way you eat, move, and live every day is a more powerful form of health insurance than any policy you could ever buy?
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this. In any economy, in any situation, your most productive asset is and always will be your body. Taking care of it isn't a luxury. It's the single best investment you will ever make in your future.